Fast forward, any come out our channel so aha age politics avenue. When you podcast or training me quiz make headlines. And a Jamaica na idi bi aksomo awaha. Ni dem ni ahon raksi mo se NF idi kan me so bit subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell so share na arofo account so answer into me nkebe. Ni dem ni ahon raksi mo yambo enra eye political hawis ni eja dem a enya asem kotwa kra. Na eja ni ku eye NPP ama yoko ni chim. Na ni nyina ne se eye kenal kodu Damoah. SML deal no ne ho furufuru ma enya asem kotoa no okopie mu court ene court amani bill emo court etimi asizi no nkrata obetimi agina so dia to kwan nyina say onhwe na onfa emedan court because ohunu say we flight risks at the moment no abedafo atrase omu ebo nsem no mu chiremu yensembre yankum na yenhwe yekọ ene eba age politics up.
The Northern Region, the Accra High Court has granted former Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Colonel Damoah retired, a bail of 50 million cedis with 2 sureties after he pleaded not guilty to multiple counts of using public office for profit and causing financial loss to the state. The German South MP is one of 7 accused persons standing trial, together with former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, over their alleged roles in the SML scandal, that 1.4 billion CD SML scandal. That's a report by Lord Edwasari.
In court on Wednesday, December 17, lawyers of the former Commissioner of Customs, the Ghana Revenue Authority led by Robert Yeboah, prayed the court to grant bail to his client, intimating that Colonel Damoah is a 7-member of parliament and as a result is not a flight risk. He also prayed that they be given a fair and reasonable time to enable them to put their house in order for the bail terms. Principal Prosecutor from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Adelaide Kubri-Wood, indicated that while they didn't oppose the bail, they were against the granting of long terms for the accused, citing former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as an example of one who ran away from the jurisdiction when he was given the leeway. After hearing submissions from both sides of the divide, Presiding Judge Francis Achiponga granted Colonel Damoah retired a bail of 50 million Ghana cedis with 2 sureties. The court ordered that he deposits all travel documents to the court's registry. The sureties, the court noted, must submit their Ghana cards to the court's registry as well. Additionally, the German South MP's name is to be placed on the stop list at all entry points across the country, and he is to report to the lead investigator once every week. Given orders regarding the execution of the bail terms, the court indicated that Colonel Damoah adheres to the bail terms imposed on him by the Office of the Special Prosecutor in the interim and suspended the terms until December 31 for him to be able to find the sureties. The case has since been adjourned to January 29, 2026 for case management conference. Lodi Rasari, TVC News, Accra.
Still on legal matters, Justice of the Supreme Court, Gabriel Poamang, has announced the renovation of 3 courts dedicated to handle cases related to National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat and the theft of government properties. These courts, once completed, are expected to begin operations early next year.
The fight against illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, continues, with government conducting sweeps, making arrests, and seizing equipment. Minister of Education Haruna Idrisu insists Ghana cannot afford to fail in the fight against galamsey. He urged the Chief Justice not to relent in punishing public officials found complicit in illegal mining.
We need to elevate and up our game. The executive and the president alone cannot succeed in fighting galamsey. We need the judiciary to stand side by side in solidarity. Should the court find any good evidence of any public official or politician involved in it, my Lord, don't hesitate to exercise the gavel and punish adequately.
The Lands Minister, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, disclosed that 1,200 tractors are currently being tracked as part of efforts to clamp down on illegal mining activities.
We are reforming the Mining and Mining Act 2008 Act 703. And I'm very happy to say that we've already made a lot of progress and we intend to forward that to Cabinet in the very early next year. So far, we are proud to say that 1,200 of excavators
are now being tracked and jail fenced, and we'll continue to do that.
At the launch of the annual Chief Justice Mentorship Program 2025, Justice Gabriel Poamang emphasized the urgent need to protect Ghana's land and water bodies from degradation. He confirmed that 3 courts will be established to oversee state-related cases.
We in the judiciary on this occasion would want to restate our commitment to support the fight against environmental degradation, to support the fight against illegal mining in particular, and also deepen our efforts in collaboration with the executive and parliament to enforce the laws. The judiciary, under the leadership of the Chief Justice, His Lordship Justice Bawku Boni, have already allocated 3 High Court judges, and they are being refurbished to specifically deal with cases coming from the NIMOS, that is the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations, and also other related matters of the state, which is to recover properties of the state which have been lost.
Government continues to strengthen its interventions in the fight against galamsey.
Let's go to the Eastern region, where the Etiwa East District Chief Executive, Ernest Owusu-Ntim, who was recently convicted for contempt by the Akuffo High Court, has clarified that the case before the court concerns a land ownership dispute and not illegal mining activities, as has been widely reported. He insists that the matter has been misconstrued and misrepresented in public discourse. He addressed the media earlier today.
The issue with regards to the court is about land. You wonder how a state will give about 30 hectares, 60 hectares of a community to an individual. And that's the challenge, and that's what we are just fighting. But I know it's okay. When you decide to take, time by time, you analyze it, you realize that the only challenge have to do with proper supervision. The central government is doing well. Normally, they will constitute a team, a military team like the NIMOS that we are having now. But I realize that the soldiers, they will come and they will leave. But when they leave, who will supervise the gains that they have made? So I put together a team and then a task force as well that have to ensure that we supervise the activities of the miners in the district. So ideally, we were able to convince them for them to know that this is your town, you need to protect your land. Those who have come to mine, if you decide to protect them, then it means that you are trying to put the future of the community into danger. So they were able to help us, and we have able to identify every hole and the people that caused that the destruction.
Otumfuo said to the second and directed the immediate return of the rival chief Alhaji Seidu Abagre to Nalerugu under the authority of the Nairi. A statement issued and signed by the spokesperson to the president, Felix Kwachefosu, says that the government accepts all recommendations in the report that was presented on Tuesday, affirming the Supreme Court's position on the rightful Bawku overlord. The government stated that the report provides a comprehensive, fact-based and forward-looking roadmap for lasting peace in Bawku. A key and immediate directive from the government is the recall of the rival chief Alhaji Seidu Abagre to address the root cause of the conflict. President Mahama has also directed the establishment of a 1 billion Ghana cedi Bawku revitalization fund. The fund is to be disbursed from 2026 to 2028 and is aimed at rebuilding critical infrastructure like roads, healthcare, education, and irrigation facilities to restore Bawku as an economic hub in the northern part of the country. Right, so clearly the statement from the Office of the President outlines some specific things that we all need to be abreast of. I'll walk you through some of the key pointers in that white paper released by government. So in part, it says government fully accepts all findings and recommendations of the Akuffo Bawku mediation report. The report provides a fact-based roadmap for lasting peace and stability in Bawku. It goes on to say that Naba Asigri Abugrago Azoka II is the lawful Bawku Naba and his authority cannot be challenged. Government will facilitate the safe relocation of Alhaji Saidu Abagri to Nalerugu under the Nayiri's direction. And the conflict has caused severe human, social, and economic damage to Bawku. President Mahama, like we indicated, has approved a 1 billion Ghana cedi Bawku Revitalization Fund, which would be spearheaded by the Finance Minister. And then it goes on to say there are no winners or losers, and all parties are urged to abide by the report in the interest of peace and national stability.
In more news tonight, the government of Ghana has deployed a contingent of 54 soldiers to Jamaica as part of an international support mission aimed at assisting the country's rebuilding efforts. Speaking to the soldiers before their departure, President John Mahama said aside deploying soldiers and officers, Ghana is also providing temporary tents and food items.
According to officials, the deployment forms part of Ghana's commitment to regional and global solidarity, particularly in times Jamaica stands in need of the Hurricane Melissa. The soldiers, drawn from the Ghana Armed Forces 48 engineers, are expected to provide technical, logistic and operational support to ongoing rebuilding initiatives. The Foreign Minister, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, says the mission underscores Ghana's growing role in international peacekeeping and humanitarian assistance.
We all do know that Hurricane Melissa has wreaked a lot of havoc. Over 40 Jamaicans have died. Analysts say that the destruction is in excess of 8.8 billion United States dollars. His Excellency, the President, in addition to the humanitarian support sent, has decided that today we need to deploy our troops following a request formally made by the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
President John Dramani Mahama charged the troops to conduct themselves well.
Ghana has consistently stood for international solidarity, humanitarian assistance, and global responsibility. Our nation understands the pain of natural disasters and the long road to recovery. Today's mission reinforces Ghana's commitment to humanitarian response, disaster recovery and reconstruction, and South-South cooperation, Pan-African and Afro-Caribbean solidarity. I commend the Ghana Armed Forces for their professionalism, for their discipline, and their readiness to serve not only at home, but anywhere in the world duty calls.
The Chief of the Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ejapon, expressed confidence that the deployed personnel will excel. The specific of the assignment will be determined in coordination with Jamaican authorities and relevant international partners. On October 27, Hurricane Melissa made landfall on Jamaica as the most powerful ever to directly impact on the island. It displaced 90,000 people, killed at least 45, and damaged infrastructure worth more than $113 million US. Joseph Armstrong, Gold Alibi TV3, Accra.
In a related development, the minority in parliament has strongly criticized government for deploying troops to Jamaica without parliamentary approval, saying that the decision was misguided. According to the caucus, there are domestic crises that should have received utmost priority and not a public stand on the global stage. Christian Yali reports.
The minority leader on the floor of Parliament questioned the deployment of relief items to Jamaica, stating that there are some domestic challenges that should have been first prioritized. He then demanded urgent answers from the foreign minister on the details of Ghana's mission in Jamaica.
I think that a major policy decision like this must receive at least the blessings of Parliament. It cannot be that the members of Parliament would have to be reading this in the news. And when we have ministers who are first to come and signal us, we have serious disasters. The recent flooding in the country, we know that people have been calling for relief. NADMO has been telling us that they don't have stock. Where you do not have enough to feed your own at home, doing international charity will require a curious concern.
Ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee, John Ntimfojo, also described the deployment of troops to Benin as a misguided decision.
When they sought to buy helicopters, they had to consult Parliament. So how come when you want to deploy troops to Benin, you do not consult Parliament? When you want to deploy troops to Jamaica, you do not consult Parliament. What are they hiding within this process? Sending troops to Benin, we need to understand which protocols under which this deployment is going to be undertaken, how many troops are going to be sent, how long this operation is going to be undertaken, and what is the cost to the state. They are misplaced priority, and we cannot watch on unconcerned for the taxpayers' money to be misused in very misguided deployments.
Now, he says charity begins at home, and so he wants government to channel security effort into dealing with the Bawku, Beniyiri, and Galamsey issues.
We rather chose to show force in Accra, where people are going about their peaceful endeavors. You rather chose to show force in front of Supreme Court and Accra High Court. Look at the situation in Bawku. Even after the Otumfuo mediation, things have still not calmed. And we are still urgent calm in Bawku. If you want to show force, we have Galamsey sites, endemic Galamsey sites that in broad daylight are chasing military NIMOS. They are chasing them, they are running after their lives. If you want to show force and to show the might of your security apparatus, you go to such areas.
Meanwhile, the Foreign Affairs Minister has responded to the concerns of the minority, stating that the country has historically provided aid to countries that required such assistance. He explained that the decision was based on humanitarian grounds, emphasizing no wrongdoing.
Of this August House, these enhanced and consequential humanitarian gestures were deliberate expressions of Ghana's diplomatic identity and values. In a global environment marked by increasing humanitarian needs and diminishing international attention, Ghana's actions carry significant moral and diplomatic weight. They signal Ghana's refusal to be indifferent to suffering and its determination to remain a responsible and compassionate actor on the international stage. Such actions also serve to strengthen our bilateral relations, reinforce mutual trust, and enhance Ghana's standing within multilateral fora. By aligning humanitarian assistance with diplomatic engagement, Ghana demonstrates its foreign policy is both principled and pragmatic. It's rooted in values of empathy, solidarity, brotherhood, and compassion, while being attentive to global realities. Right Honourable Speaker, as humanitarian crises continue to challenge the international community, Ghana remains resolute in its commitment to act where it can to make a meaningful difference. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs will continue to work towards strengthening Ghana's capacity for timely humanitarian response, deepening partnerships with international and regional actors, and ensuring that solidarity remains a defining feature of our foreign policy.
Let's go to the northern region where 4 suspected drug dealers are in police custody in Tamale following a special intelligence-led operation by the IGP's Special Operations Team. The arrest, which led to the retrieval of suspected Indian hemp, tramadol capsules and other narcotic substances forms part of intensified security measures ahead of the festive season.
The IGP Special Operations Team has stepped up daily operations within the Tamale metropolis as part of effort to clamp down on criminal activities that threaten public safety. With economic activities peaking during the festive season, the team intensified both highway and community patrols. A total of 105 officers were deployed for the exercise under the leadership of ASP Bawa Abdul Jalil. Officers were briefed ahead of the operation.
The special operations of the Inspector General of Police currently in this jurisdiction will not entertain any group of hooligans, criminal network who feel that at any point in time they can take the law into their own hands and do anything. You will never be spared.
During combined highway and community patrols, intelligence led the team to Taha, where one Gladys Lariba was arrested at her residence for allegedly engaging in drug peddling. A search conducted at her premises uncovered quantities of toffees mixed with dried leaves, suspected to be Indian hemp. Another suspect, Joseph Christian, who was present at the scene, was also arrested for allegedly being in possession of dried leaves. At Gumbihini, Musa.
We ain't some who it's because what channel so Mamma so Jimmy or her Senator Badian, Eddie Adumi, Instant Shemo.